Now, tonight we have new information on a man that Barack Obama picked to be his White House counsel. Greg Craig has been a high-profile attorney for many years, but it is his connection to a man indicted for the murder of a U.S. soldier that is the subject of our special investigation. Let's take a look. June 11th, 1992, Panama City, Panama. U.S. President George Herbert Walker Bush is supposed to be celebrating the country's newly elected Democratic government. But the celebration is interrupted.
There's a gunshot. Don't let this little ripple out there today, don't let it discourage you. I'd say the same to the people. You are partly responsible for that wonderful feeling between Panama and the United States of America.
But they had done more than demonstrate one day earlier. They committed murder. 2 American soldiers were ambushed while traveling in their Humvee outside of Panama City. The attackers peppered the vehicle with AK-47 fire from the windows of a stolen car. Corporal Zach Hernandez of Puerto Rico was killed instantly. He had been shot 22 times.
He loves his country. Zach is a good boy, a good son, a good brother.
The man believed to be the mastermind behind the attack was Pedro Miguel Gonzalez, the son of a prominent Panamanian politician known to be rabidly anti-American and loyal to ousted dictator Manuel Noriega.
His father certainly taught him well never to back down and always to confront American power in Panama and do everything you can to get the Americans to leave Panama.
After the shooting, Pedro fled the country with the help of his father. The U.S. government wasted no time trying to locate the murder suspect and offered a substantial reward for tips. Now, back in the U.S., a federal grand jury indicted Gonzalez and a co-defendant on first-degree murder charges. Gonzalez stayed underground until 1995, when the PRD, his father's political party, came back into power. After 3 years on the run, Gonzalez turned himself in at the presidential palace in a move orchestrated by his father. Despite what the U.S. considered damning evidence, Pedro Gonzalez was acquitted in Panama on all charges.
It was, by all accounts, a sham trial. The government strong-armed people and threatened jurors and tampered with witnesses.
But in 1999, he turned the tables on the U.S. when he ran for a seat in the Panamanian National Assembly. Now, given who his father was and his fierce anti-American stance, he was elected in a landslide.
And that is what sparked the diplomatic row between the United States and Panama.
Gonzalez quickly rose through the political ranks, and then in 2007, still under indictment for murder right here in the U.S., he was elected president of Panama's National Assembly. This set off a firestorm of anger throughout the U.S. government, which sent a strong diplomatic message when lawmakers blocked the Panama Free Trade Agreement from passing. Enter Gregory Craig, Barack Obama's pick to be White House counsel, who has also been advising, Pedro Miguel Gonzalez.
It is true that I've been advising Mr. Gonzalez in connection with discussions that he is having through his attorneys with the Justice Department about the outstanding case. I have not undertaken to represent him in any of the proceedings other than to open up a path of communications between him and the Justice Department about that case.
Yes, you heard it right. One of Obama's closest confidants chose to advise a man indicted for the murder of a U.S. soldier. But this is not out of character for Mr. Craig, who throughout his career has represented a slew of controversial characters. Craig has a history of seeking out these types of cases. He was a registered foreign agent, basically acting as a lobbyist on the side of various foreign governments and entities and representing them in U.S. federal court. It is unclear what exactly Mr. Craig has done for Pedro Gonzalez, because neither he nor the Obama transition team will tell us. But what is clear is that he has chosen to be, at the very least, the intermediary between a suspected terrorist and the U.S. government. Now, Obama made it clear during his campaign that the White House would be no place for influence peddlers and special interests.
Because the more transparency we can bring to Washington, the less likely it is that Washington will be run by lobbyists and special interests.
As White House counsel, Craig will be steering the new president through a series of tricky legal decisions, but given his ability to defend his client's questionable morals and sinister acts, is this the man that Barack Obama wants as a trusted confidant? And joining us now is Byron York from National Review, who's been investigating this. Byron, I guess the main question is, why hasn't there been more attention paid to this? Obviously, if you're talking about killing U.S. soldiers.
Well, look, it's really, really serious. It has gotten lost a bit in the shuffle with all the other appointments going on and the economic plan, everything else. Also, the position of White House counsel does not require confirmation in the Senate, and if there were confirmation in the Senate, I'm sure questions like this would be asked.
Yeah. Now, as part of your investigative work, Obama promised transparency, openness. Why is some of the information you'd like to get you can't get? Do you know? Are they giving you any explanation as to why they're not handing it over to you?
Absolutely not. I asked specifically about this question of his representation of Pedro Miguel Gonzalez, and the specific question, for example, does Mr. Craig believe that Pedro Miguel Gonzalez is innocent? Asked the transition office, got a no comment. Asked the Bush Justice Department, got absolutely no comment on that. They said go to the transition office. Asked his law firm, got no comment, and tried through an intermediary to reach Craig himself, and it was blocked at every path.
Yeah, well, of course, we know him, I guess, best from running the Clinton defense during the Clinton-Monica Lewinsky era. A lot of us remember him from the Elian Gonzalez case here. But if we put this all together, if we got Eric Holder, and he's representing or advocating the FALN terrorists, 16 of them. He's advocating Mark Rich, who was dealing with Iran during the middle of the hostage crisis. We've got this guy killing U.S. soldiers and getting some assistance and representation. When you add Holder and Craig, and we're not even talking about Geithner and some other issues, it seems to me that there's just a total pass. Nothing seems to stick. I know everyone's got Obama mania. They're excited about tomorrow. But these are going to be important positions in government. Why don't people seem to want to pay attention to this?
Well, so far everybody's just so excited about Obama mania. But look, these are things worth knowing. And Greg Craig's history, for example, he is known best for defending Bill Clinton in the impeachment trial. But before that, he did a lot of work in foreign policy. He worked for Teddy Kennedy, was working on behalf or along with the Nicaraguan Contras in the 1980s. Worked certainly with Fidel Castro on the Elian Gonzalez case. Has represented a number of foreign countries. Actually represented John Hinckley, the man who shot and almost killed Ronald Reagan. And it's a question that lawyers face all the time. And for this story, I talked to one conservative lawyer, asked him about this, and he said, it's a delicate issue because generally we don't hold lawyers responsible for the views of their clients. On the other hand, it's worth considering when a lawyer has time and again gone to the well and represented somebody on the other side of an issue from America. Right. So, I think that's the question with Craig.
All right, thanks, Byron York. National Review, one of my favorite websites. We call it Kalo Land. Thanks for being with us, Byron.
Thank you.